saying that there is a change of fates. There is a change of fates in such a way that it is like, and I'm hearing change of God. So there's some way in which the order of things, there's a change of order. So why Saturn energy is here. There's a change of order, and this changing of order is going to allow the Six of Swords and the Eight of Wands here. Eight of Wands coming out of darkness, coming out of oppression, coming out of a hole, a ditch you've been in. Six of Swords, progress, moving forward from Five of Pentacles, deprivation. This doesn't just have to be deprivation of finances. Some of you are financially comfortable. This can be deprivation of the heart, for example, lacking in relationships, lacking in friendships, lacking in good family energy. This can also be environmental, living in a space, whether that's your home environment or your country or your city, wherever, living somewhere that is not conducive to the full progress and fruition of your human and your spirit. Being somewhere that actually hinders you. But there is a moving on from this energy, a transformation, a changing of the guards that happens because of this storm energy, because of something that happens on a bigger stage. So it's not a personal life. Think about how eclipses are bigger stories. They affect big collective groups universally. It's the same energy here. Something happening, something coming. I'm going to ask a little bit more, but that shifts the fortunes. And this is why they say implant your seeds. I love this. You know, we've got the Hierophant card here. And then we have the Justice and the Queen of Swords. And the combination of these energies is talking about the rules that you live by, the laws you live by, the belief systems. Hierophant and justice. Hierophant can be what is taught to you, right? Religious institutions, educational institutions, history, things that are passed down, tradition. So there are things that you might believe. For example, the way that people have been debating at length, whether it is because of what's going on with Cardi B, whether it's appropriate or okay for a pregnant woman to have sex with someone who's not her husband. Yes, is my answer. And but it's to me, it's so wild. I was like, oh, the patriarchy is really alive and kicking. Like it's been so wild to see the passion it takes from people on this issue, right? And wherever you stand on that is not really my business. I know where I stand on it. But I bring this up to say there is the hierophant, right? The external rules, the socialization, the primary socialization, the customs, the patriarchal culture we live in says a pregnant woman is a hoe, basically. She is dirty, she's unclean, she's immoral, etc., etc. If she responds to her body and responds to her needs for intimacy and pleasure. Like, no, not supposed to do that. Again, with this Hierophant energy here, structures, foundation, stone, buildings, rigidity. What else did I say the Tower is about? Going against one's nature. Sex is your nature. Do you know what I mean? So going against the nature. Everyone says, no, go against your nature. Then we have justice and the Queen of Swords. This is a different kind of law. And when I talk about, like, I feel that energy in my solar plexus. When I talk about being in Egypt and working with Egyptian goddesses, this is their energy, Queen of Swords and Justice. These Venusians, like, they don't play. Do you know what I mean? They don't play. And also they don't play because they set the law. The law for them is not this Hierophant figure. Think about Ma'at, for example. The Egyptian goddesses also set the law, they set the principles, they set the boundaries of justice, and they enforce it, Sekhmet. So when we've got this contrast here, what they're talking about when they say implant this seed, some of this relates to your seeds of belief. And this is, some of you are adhering to the rules of a system that was designed to entrap you permanently. And this energy here says, no, you have to learn different laws, different spiritual laws, so to speak. Let me ask them a little bit about that. Because of what they're saying to me here as well is that the energy I'm getting is that justice is relative. And when they say justice is relative, what they mean is justice is weighed. It is not decreed. The decree, the Hierophant energy, the judgment, it is what it is. This is the rule. You must do things a certain way. Justice is I weigh up the case. So when it comes to like everything, all the legalities surrounding Brazil, for example, there were specific rules in place, rules that through no fault of my own, I had to break. And justice, thank you so much, Spirit, and shout out to Alepa. Justice for me was I didn't have to have any of the penalties of that rules because I was able to have my situation and the specifics of my situation and my case weighed. So there's something about the changing of the guard, the changing of rules. That's what I can feel. And that is coming, I really feel it circulating the headspace. So this is really a belief system issue. Now, I will say to you that when we're talking about belief systems, we're talking about Jupiter. We've been talking a lot about Saturn so far, and Saturn is talking about what exists, what is already established, tradition, what we're already dealing with. Jupiter, though, is belief systems. Five of Wands and the Devil card. The Devil card, what I say is Saturn. Five of Wands, the challenge. Okay, we have to challenge. This is a Martian energy, Mars and Leo. We have to challenge the existing belief systems through the energy of the High Priestess, which is there are more rules than this rule. With the Ten of Cups, there are more cups than just this one cup to consider. There are multiple laws at play here. How does this relate to this group in a more practical way? Yeah. So this is about the laws by which you guide yourself. And you will find this when you live in relation to others. You know, I love astrology. I love psychology. I love sociology. I love it all. I love to study people and spirits. Um, and it gives me an edge, I would say. And one of the things that, like, the friend that I'm living with, for example, she is an Aries stellium with a Scorpio rising. That is a Martian, Martian, Martian. Okay, I am a Venusian living with a Martian, Martian, Martian. I will also say, without saying more of her chart, she also has very strong Libra placement and an exalted Venus. So she's a fierce Martian with a Venusian thread. Our energy systems are very, very different. And so when we talk about this concept of the justice systems, right, and learning the rules for yourself, part of it comes back to this way showing energy, hermit. This is my energy. See this person walking with the lamp, showing the light, shedding light in darkness. I talked about the threshold card, going into the unknown. This is what I do. I go to the threshold, I go ahead and I take my lamp and I say, hey, I'm bringing light to this darkness. I'm bringing light to these concepts. I'm bringing light to these experiences. So for me, as a hermit, there are certain rules that govern my life. There is a way that justice is leveled for me, is weighed spiritually for me. That, for example, let's say for my Martian friend, who is not a hermit archetype, is totally different for her. There are things that she can do, things that she can say, ways that she can move, and also things that she needs to function well that are not the same for me, and vice versa. So when we're talking again about this weighing up of laws, rules, principles, how you live, it's really, really important that you sink into the kind of like how can I put it? You can only compare yourself insofar as the contrast helps you understand yourself. Okay, comparison, as in my friend functions like this, I function like this, that's interesting. This helps me see something. Not this person does it this way, and therefore, why can't I do it that way as well? It's not going to work like that for you. For example, Saturnians tend to get very harsh punishments or swift punishments if they break rules. If you're a rule breaker, just because of the way that energy principle works. Martians are here to push boundaries and break rules, so they're not going to be punished in that way. It's not, you can't be punished again for living your nature. You can get opposition, you can get rejection, alienation, people could dislike you. But in terms of spiritual law and punishment, blessing, justice, when your life is weighed up, you're not punished for living your nature. So when I talk about this kind of knowing the laws for you and working particularly with these Venusian